Doctor Who series finales are like Marmite. They're either really good or they're just complete trash. Where does the series 13 finale fit in? Well, after multiple viewings of The Vanquishers and all of the other chapters of Doctor Who Flux, I say that it's alright. It ties a lot of things up in a satisfactory way. Jodie is on form, and seriously, this was her best series. The 13th Doctor ends up getting split into three across time, and when you watch this for the first time, you're like, what the hell even is this? However, if you have a high retention, you may end up loving this. There's so much to talk about with this one episode that this review will never merit it in any way. So let's simply go through the pros and cons, starting off with the pros. I thought that the pacing was fine. Not terrific, but fine. The Sontarans were amazing in this. The CGI was astonishing. Everything concerning Jericho was a delight to the eyes and ears. His reunion with Claire was a highlight. I was very disappointed to see him get taken by the Flux in the final act, though. The plot twist with Carvanista being a former companion of the Doctor during her division days was interesting, but we never got anything more, as he was not allowed to divulge anything further, as it said so in the script. The final scene with the 13th Doctor and the Fob Watch was all around brilliant, and it left everything on a high note. The story arc with the Watch and the Doctor's past is far from over, and I'm pretty sure we should get answers in the remaining specials. Jodie's performance as Time was a massive clue that the Master is going to be the final big bad for the 13th Doctor. It just has to be, doesn't it? Now for the cons. Once again, this episode might be alienating to newcomers of this franchise. I'd recommend that viewers start with an earlier series. While I love Swarm and Azure as villains, I felt that in this episode, we really didn't get to see them do all that much. Azure provided heavy exposition in one scene, reminding viewers why they are even here, and they stand about for the majority of the episode. The whole twist with the passenger was out of nowhere. I get what Chris Chibnall was going for with this, but it felt like a reset button. That being said, the same thing happened in other finales like Last of the Time Lords, so I don't completely hate it, but I don't love it either. Kate Stewart, brilliant to have her back, but she gets completely wasted in this. All she did was chill in the Williamson tunnels, and I honestly think the whole reason why she got brought back for the last two episodes was clearly for fan service. The same goes for Grand Serpent. Great villain, but wasted in the final act only to get imprisoned. He and Kate Stewart almost felt like an afterthought in this episode. The same goes for the companions. And that leads me to think that that is mainly due to the amount of things going on in this finale. The moments they shine the most are at the end, when Dan joins the TARDIS crew after things don't work out completely well with Diane after her ordeal in this entire series. The scene when the Doctor finally opens up to Yaz was a great way to bookend the series. To sum this episode up, I'd say that this slots somewhere in the middle for now in terms of new series finales. It is certainly the strongest of the Jodie Whittaker era. Many elements are tied together, some are left open, and some are just forgotten about. I'm glad that this finale does not focus too heavily on the Timeless Child arc again. We get a brief flashback scene inside the Watch, and that's it. The episode shines at its most in its action set pieces involving the Sontarans and the rest of the main characters, who have featured throughout the story. It was satisfying to grow closer to new characters like Belle, Vinda, Jericho, Claire, and Carvanista throughout this saga. Everyone had something to offer in some way. It wasn't the greatest character writing I've ever seen, but it certainly was not the worst. The best way to describe this finale, and Doctor Who Flux as a whole, is that it is a lot of fun. There are a couple of bumps along the road, but that can be expected for such an ambitious story. For what it's worth, every single person involved in the making of Doctor Who Flux should be proud, as they have achieved something not many other television shows could do in over the past year. Having this series being told in a serialised format was a clever idea, given the circumstances when filming during a global pandemic. To me, it was a love letter to long-time fans who have been dedicated to this show, back when this serialised storytelling was the norm. It is a true reminder that no matter what climate we live in, Doctor Who can still accomplish so many things.